Number 9 gives us an equation to graph. Thing is, with this particular one, the equation is in standard form, where x and y are on the same side. What we're looking for is for it to be in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. That way we could just look at it, what the y-intercept is, what the slope is, and then make the graph. What I cannot do is I cannot look at the last number here and say, oh, that's the y-intercept, and this must be the slope. No, I need to rewrite this thing first. Well, you notice that slope-intercept form, the y is out by itself out front, and then everything else is over to the right. You notice that the x is over here on the right side. So what I'd want to do is, the first thing I'd want to do is I'd want to move the x over to the right side. How we move anything in algebra is just by doing the opposite. So the opposite of a positive 3x would be to subtract 3x. And what I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other side. And then I treat this like a game. I make one move per turn. So I made my move. I'm going to bring everything else down. So I'll bring down the negative 2y. And don't try to say negative 7 or something like that. These are not like terms. That's a number and that's an x. So we cannot combine those two things. So what we would do is we just simply would bring it down. Negative 3x minus 4. Now, you notice that in slope-intercept form, there's no number in front of y. We have a number in front of y, which means that our work is not done. So what I need to do is I need to get rid of that negative 2. That says negative 2 times y, so the opposite of multiplication would be to divide. Now, what we do to one, we do to the other, which means that we're going to divide everything here by a negative 2. So those cancel. I've got y by itself. Be careful with the signs here. The two negatives are going to make a positive. So that's going to be a positive 3/2 x. And same thing here, actually. Negative and negative is going to make us a positive 2. So we have y equals 3/2 x plus 2. So that's the only work on this one. Now the easy part is actually just graphing it. So I'm going to look at the y-intercept to see where it starts. Remember, the b is where we begin. It's our starting point. So it looks like we're going to start at 2, and we're always starting on the y-axis. So I've got 2. And then I've got a slope here of up 3, up because it's positive, and 2 to the right because we always go to the right. So up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2. And there's my second point. Just takes 2 points to make a line. So I will go ahead and connect those 2 points. And there's my line. All right, so go ahead and pause now and try the other two problems. Okay, just to check the work on those, should have an equation of y equals 2/2 x, I'm sorry, not 2/2, 2/5 x plus 4, and should have graphed that one. And then y equals 4/3 x plus 3. All right, so that finishes number 9. You just got one question left.